I don't think you're worth the trouble. I think it's over, then you make it double. Perhaps I should've known from the get-go, but some things are just too hard to let go. But I don't think you're worth the trouble anymore.
All right, guys, just finished up dinner with Jerry. Went to Taco Bell, and this is Derek Law. He is the archery tech at Smoky Valley Shooting Sports, the pro shop that we obviously go to for all our stuff and that we work with on a lot of the video stuff. So what we want to go over a couple of tips on how you can make sure that you're set up and your bow is ready to go. You're set up. What we want to do, we want to go over a couple of tips to make sure that you're ready to go and that you know your bow is set up completely ready. So if a deer walks in front of you, you're more than able to take that shot and you can feel confident about what's going to happen afterwards. So Derek, number one, what would you say is the first tip?
So the biggest thing I would say is that, start early. Get your bow out of the case and, take a look at it. Get it into the pro shop if you can. Don't wait until the week before season starts. Just because, if you do have a problem and you take it in there the week before season starts, you will not probably get it back pretty quick. These guys are going to be slammed in most pro shops right then. And, if you need new strings and cables, stuff like that, you want to have that stuff plenty of time so that way you can get your bow, tuned, set up before the season is really starting. That way if you have a deer on camera or something like that, you're not going to have any issues. So when you take it in there, they're going to take a look and make sure your strings and cables are in good shape. Check and make sure your peep sight's rotating good, that the bow is shooting good. One big thing to make sure that they're checking out is to make sure that your axis and level are set on there. That can be really important out of a tree stand. Just kind of a general overall checkup to make sure you're not going to have any issues during the season with your bow.
So what do you do after you leave the pro shop?
So one thing to do after you leave the pro shop would be to go out and actually test everything on your bow. Just to make sure that once they've kind of gone through, help you check your strings and cables out and tune it, that everything is actually flying like it should be. So I would go out, get the bow pretty close to being sighted in, and then start actually practicing with your broadheads. A lot of people will go out and just screw on their broadheads once they get close to season and just go hunt. And that's one of the worst things you can do, because even a bow that's been shot through paper, things like that, may not fly the best with your broadhead. So I would highly encourage guys to go out, try a couple different broadheads out, see what flies good out of your bow, or tune your bow to those broadheads. That way that kind of just like with taking your bow to the shop, that when season starts, nothing is going to be on the bow, it's all going to be on you, so that it's flying true. So that would be another tip to make sure that you get done. So after you've been to the pro shop, you've got your bow shooting good, you've shot with broadheads, everything's working good on your bow, it's all sighted in. Then I would start really going out and kind of do what I would call practicing with a purpose, and that would be going out and practicing in more hunting-like scenarios. Shoot with your clothes on, your hunting clothes, like we're gonna have Aaron here in a minute. Go out and shoot some 3D, do some stuff that's a little more...
Shoot out of a tree stand.
Shoot out of a tree stand, stuff that's a little more adrenaline filled to kind of get ready for the season. So you really want to go out and practice, with all the clothes you're going to be wearing you're hunting. Practice just like you're going to be hunting. So that way, if Aaron holds his bow out here, you can kind of see if your string is going to hit your arm with your clothes on. Shoot with gloves on if you're going to do that when you're actually hunting. That way you'll kind of find these things out early enough that when you're actually out there shooting at a deer, you don't have something crazy happen, and miss the deer of a lifetime just because you didn't, do a little bit of preseason shooting because it hit your arm. So another thing I'd suggest would be to try and shoot some 3D archery, this late summer, kind of into the early fall right now if you can. A lot of people have, a local 3D archery club around them that they can kind of go join, and most clubs will have monthly or weekly shoots. And that's a really good time or place to go out and practice. It's one thing to go out and shoot, in your backyard and stuff, where there's no pressure, you're really calm, but going and shooting out in front of other people, especially people you don't know, it adds a big adrenaline rush that's often, a lot like when you're out there hunting. And, it's kind of the closest thing I've found besides actually going out there and hunting, when you're shooting under competition and under pressure, to get that same kind of a feel. And that'll also bring out some of your, your flaws in your form, stuff like that.
It brought out a lot of mine.
Which you'd be surprised. I mean, there's some guys that are, really great shooters, but you put them in front of a few people or even a deer, and it can just make them, fall apart.
Yep.
And so that would be something I'd kind of suggest. Something that'll get your heart rate up, get your adrenaline pumping.
Now, Smoky Valley, they put on quite a few 3D shoots. 3 or 4 a year
Yep.
that are pretty big
3 or 4
3D
big
shoots.
ones.
And you have one coming up now. It's a new one that you're trying out to help prep you more for the Western style,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why don't you tell us more about that? And people can come. I mean, you have people coming from where?
We've got people coming from all over for this one. So this shoot we're having coming up, it's called the Hunt Ready Challenge. It's August 19th. This one's a lot different than kind of our standard 3D shoots. It's not your standard 20 or 40 targets, 1 or 2 day ASA type shoot. This is more of a Western-based 3D shoot where you're going to be competing with physical challenges as well as shooting 3D targets, carrying a pack with weight, competing a kind of an obstacle course kind of area to get you ready, get kind of an elevated heart rate, get the adrenaline flowing to kind of prepare you to go out and hunt this fall. And we've got guys from, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, a lot of guys signed up for this shoot. Should be kind of a really good time and kind of helps prepare you to be, hunt ready for the fall.
And for anybody who doesn't know exactly where Smoky Valley is at, we have a link in the description to their website, and the address is on the website. And I don't know, is there any information on the website about this?
Yeah, you should have a link on our Facebook page or our website. You can call the shop too and sign up for it. It's kind of filling up pretty fast right now, and pretty warm that time of the year. So I would get signed up if you kind of have any interest in that, and
For sure.
kind of getting ready for kind of a Western type hunt.
So if that's something that interests you, be sure you check the link in the description. Moving on, what would you say? Is there anything else that you would really say it would be a good way to kind of prep yourself for season?
The biggest thing would just be, get out now, practice like you're going to hunt and just kind of practice as much as you can to make sure you're prepared as possible.
Get your reps in.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, guys, like I said, we wanted to bring this to you guys, let you know, a few things that would help you guys get ready. I know I need to really start working on getting ready a little harder. I've kind of slacked off this year as far as shooting goes. I need to.
And don't just go out and shoot your bow a bunch. I mean, kind of, like I said, shoot it with a purpose. If
Yeah.
you're
Quality.
shooting bad one day, don't just shoot a ton. Really kind of get some quality practice in, like you said.
Mhm.
Like you're going to be hunting. So
Yeah. So I know I'm going to be putting this to work. Derek has been putting it to work. He's had a pretty strict regimen, and this is something that he just does. So I knew he'd be the right one to ask, kind of give us insight on his regimen that he keeps and does every year before he hunts. So hope this helps you guys out. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. We sure appreciate you guys, tuning in and always giving us a little bit of feedback. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Until next time.
yeah, thanks.